people are always wondering, because I think they see it online and they see it on the internet, is Botox going to make your eyelid droopy? Do you hear this all the time?
All of the time.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Lipstick and Lipo, your unfiltered guide to plastic surgery. I'm Dr. Ashley Amalfi. I'm one of your co-hosts. I'm up in Rochester, New York, and I'm joined by my friend and colleague, also a board-certified plastic surgeon, Dr. Smita Ramanathan. Welcome, Smita.
Hi, Ashley. How's it going?
Great. It's going so good. We have a great question today in our filler and Botox series. People are always wondering, because I think they see it online and they see it on the internet, is Botox going to make your eyelid droopy? Do you hear this all the time?
All of the time. And I think it comes in waves too, right? I think if there's some influencer that unfortunately
that's true.
a droopy eyelid, then, it's on everybody's radar and everyone's worried and nobody wants to get Botox. But I do tell people it is a risk, right? I mean, it's part of the risks that I go over with them.
Yes.
Knock on wood, I've never had a droopy lid after any of my injections.
It's very
rare. It's rare.
Yeah, it has to do with your anatomy, right? Because when we're injecting the forehead muscles, if that Botox spreads a little bit or it gets too close to the eye and it spreads down to the eyelid, it can slightly affect the eyelid muscle, so that makes that eyelid droopy. It doesn't make it as strong. It doesn't lift as strongly. I mean, the good news, if this happens to you, and again, this is exceedingly rare, is that it's pretty temporary, because we aren't injecting it into your eyelid. So it has just a little bit has just migrated there, and it will work its way out pretty quickly, and it's not going to last as long as the Botox.
Right.
But there's
I
also,
would say that's more the norm than, if you see it, it's transient. It lasts for a couple of weeks and then it goes away. Right.
It's really, really quick. But there are drops that can help it, because we can stimulate a different muscle in the eyelid that can help correct that. So we can give you these little drops if you're going to be in photos or something and you feel like it looks a little droopy. There's drops that you can have, but this is exceedingly rare, and so it's definitely not something to worry about. I do have patients ask me if I have that problem, because I have a difficulty with my eyelid, but it has nothing to do with Botox and fillers. It's just a facial palsy that happened after I was pregnant. And so sometimes I think people, when they're going to get filler, they're hyper analyzing you. Do you feel like that too? They're
always.
Staring at you,
staring you down.
And so if I start to mention something about the eyelid, some people will be like, "Is that what happened to you?" But it's not. It's just a complication of pregnancy. It has nothing to do with Botox. So don't be worried. That's not going to happen to you. And if your eyelid gets droopy after Botox, again, it's so uncommon and it should not last a really long time. But do tell your plastic surgeon, because we can help. We can give you the drops and things like that.
And a lot of it is sort of, like you said, be patient with it, because if you notice it right away, the last thing you want to do is go in and get injected with something else to compensate for it. Just wait it out, and oftentimes it'll, like you said, resolve. But I think there's also things that you can do at home, especially that first 24 hours after you get injected.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
To minimize the spread. So I often tell patients, the muscles around our eyes, our eyebrows, are extremely thin, and they all sort of interdigitate and overlap.
And they're all connected.
They're all connected, right? Whatever, the muscles that have to do with our blink are connected to muscles that hold our eyebrows up, and all of this stuff. So, I tell patients, listen, when I inject you, I'm injecting right where that muscle is, but a millimeter off, and it's another muscle. So, there's going to be some of that natural, literally. So there's going to be a little bit of that natural spread. All of the neuromodulators spread to varying extents. But
yeah, they're
often
liquids. Yeah.
They're liquid. So I'm like, okay, so the next 24 hours, like after the day of your appointment, don't go work out afterwards. Don't put a lot of pressure. Don't like touch it, you know, because I think
don't massage it.
No massages, no facials afterwards. You know, don't use like one of those Clarisonic brushes or whatever to wash your face that night.
I tell people no downward dog, because
no downward dog.
The most upside down my patients are for 24 hours.
Yeah. I'm like, just literally, and I often say, listen, just that part of your face, ignore it. Pretend it doesn't even exist. Don't touch it. Don't do anything with it. No makeup, like nothing. The next morning, wake up, do whatever you want. I don't care. But that day, don't do anything. And that also just helps it helps minimize the spread. If you're sitting there and like scratching or touching it or resting your hand on it, that just can sort of make things
spread
a little worse. Yeah.
Yeah. Just leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
Let us do our thing.
It's
going to look great. Just trust us in the process. And if you have issues, please call. But just don't get too distressed about it. It's a quick little temporary thing, and it's going to get better.
Yeah, it's not permanent.
God forbid.
Ever.
Yeah, if God forbid it's bad, we have ways to help.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys.
All right, you guys. Well, quick little answer to a very common question.
Yes, and we've got many more episodes where we're answering questions just like this. So make sure you subscribe, tune in. We'll see you guys next week.
All right, subscribe. See you next week. Bye, guys.